caught on the rug. I'm a bug in the rug. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about board games and board gamey things. I am back again today, my friends, with another pumped up Kickstarter. And today's pumped up Kickstarter preview is on Citizens of the Spark from Thunderworks Games, who very kindly sponsored this video. Now, Citizens of the Spark is coming to Kickstarter on October 1st. All of the links, all the information, everything that you need to know, my friends, is going to be in that description below. So make sure that you click and check it out. Now, before we get in, let me just say a few things. As per usual with my preview videos, I am going to go over how the game works and try and help you decide whether or not this game is a good fit for you. This is also a prototype copy of the game, so as per usual, things, they're subject to change as we know. But without further ado, let's dive in to Citizens of the Spark. All right, let's get into it and talk a little bit about Citizens of the Spark. Now I have my overhead camera set up so you can take in the glory of this beautiful artwork. Citizens of the Spark is a variable setup card game where players take turns attracting citizens, taking actions, and claiming sparks. Ooh. The more citizen cards a player has of a specific citizen, the more powerful that citizen's actions become. The player with the most sparks at the end of the game will win. What does any of that mean? Oh boy. I am glad you asked. Let's take a closer look at how the game works, all right? You will start by choosing a number of citizens to use based on your player count. For the purposes of today's video, I have set up a 2-player game. Now, you can choose a recommended card set from the rule book, or you can also use the deck of randomizer cards. I have set up using the recommended cards for a first game, which are going to include the Bandit, Champion, Outcast, Rancher, Scientist, Scout, and Advisor. So those are the types of citizen that you are going to see in this example. However, there are a large variety of different types of citizens that come in the box. What are the chances I could show you this without spilling everything everywhere? Be honest. Slim? I just wanted to show you this. Oh, I have the overhead camera set up. These are all the different types of citizens. So here is a warrior. We also have a tyrant. There are a ton of different ones in here, so lots of variability. Sorry, I just think that they're organized in a way that's very pleasing to the eye, so I want it to please your eyes as much as my eyes were pleased as well. So Citizens of the Spark is played over a series of turns, and each turn consists of 3 steps. Those steps are going to be attract citizens, perform an action, and clean up. So let's go through what that looks like, starting with attracting citizens. Now, just so you know, this is my player area. This is Jeff's player area. Let's just pretend he's there. And this is going to be the assembly. You are going to select one of the 3 groups of citizen cards from the assembly, and you will collect any spark tokens next to it by placing that group in your city in any order. At the beginning of the game, there will not be any spark tokens out, but I'll talk about later how spark tokens are going to get added, okay? So you are going to select one of those groups, and you're going to place that group into your city. So right now my city consists of a bandit and a rancher. I might want to take a rancher and a champion. I might want to do that, okay? So I will place those into my city. I might place the champion here, and because I already have a rancher, I am going to lay that rancher on top of my other rancher to show how many I have in this stack right here. Because as I've already mentioned, the bigger the stack, the stronger that citizen is. That's how life works. We all know that. Next, you will perform an action. Now, the action step is optional, so totally up to you on whether or not you do this, but if you do choose to do an action, you will first start by selecting one stack of citizen cards from your city. You will then move the top card to a space above your city, and this will be considered your active card and signals which citizen is being activated. So let's do a little example, shall we? I think I might like to activate my rancher. Now, because for example purposes, I have a little bit of limited space here, so I'm just going to place my rancher here. Okay, so that is my active citizen, but typically we would have more space in a game and I would be placing him up here, right? Well, I can just move those. You know what? I'll just move those. I make the rules, so we'll make it look like a more realistic example. You will then choose an action on the card, which the strength is determined by the number of cards in the selected stack. Then you're going to perform the action, which will be on the citizen card with a white background, okay? There are also some attack actions. Those are in a orange background, and then you also will see things in different color backgrounds. Like right here we have on the outcast something in a pink background. That is an ability, and those are triggered under different circumstances. Just remember, the level of the action you can do is dependent on the size of your stack. I had a stack of 2. That means my rancher has a 2 strength, so his ability is to gain variable in your city. Now the variable symbol is referring to what is down here. So because we have 2 of these duders, it's going to be the second one, a level 2. So he can gain 1 spark per this symbol. This is a guild symbol in your city. So we're going to look at our whole city here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I will be able to gain 4 sparks. Okay, sparks are what we want because sparks are victory points. So all of the different types of cards are going to have different types of actions. Let's say instead of doing that, I had selected my champion. So that would be a strength of 1 because I just have 1. Gain, so this will be 1 spark per the sword icon in one neighbor's city. Okay, so he has 2, my neighbor has 2, so I would be able to gain 2. Now, once you've taken your action, each of your opponents may follow that action if they like. If they want to follow, they just need to have at least 1 copy of that citizen in their city. As an example here with Fake Jeff does have a rancher, so he could follow. Now, they're basically going to follow the same steps, moving their copy of the card above their city. The main difference is after they perform the action, they are going to have to discard that moved card from their city right away, okay? So if Jeff wanted to follow, he would put this up here, and then he would get to trigger the ability on this card, and then he would need to discard that card from his city. And that's optional. You don't need to follow, but you can choose to, and you're going to resolve that in clockwise order if there's more than 2 players. Now, the last step of a turn is going to be cleanup. And during this phase, you will discard your active citizen, and you will then prepare the assembly for the next player's turn. This is when you would discard your card, so you are discarding. It's just you leave it up here so people can obviously be reminded of what you did. And then I am going to prepare the assembly. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a spark token next to the remaining groups and then reveal cards from the citizen deck until there are 3 groups. So we had 2 groups here. I will add a spark token. So remember I said eventually there's going to be spark tokens, not on the first turn. We've arrived at eventually. Now there are spark tokens, okay? And then we are going to refill. So there are 3 groups, all right? Then it's going to be the next player's turn, and they're going to follow in that same process. And we are just essentially building out our city, trying to make nice big stacks of our different citizens so that they become stronger, so that ultimately we can gain more sparks. Sparks, that's life, right? Look how pretty and sparkly. We have 1s, we have 5s, we have 10s and 25s when you get really flush with sparks. Whoops. Now the game will end when the citizen deck runs out, and then you'll do final scoring by totaling spark tokens. You will also gain spark tokens for each citizen in your city and check endgame scoring for citizens in your city who may have some endgame scoring that's going to give you some sparks, okay? Whoever has the most points is going to win. Now, just to show you some of the citizens, because you've only really seen what's out here, primarily the rancher, the bandit. Now, the bandit's ability it's an attack ability, essentially an attack action, which is in orange. So his card will say, take variable, which is going to be dependent on his strength, sparks, from each opponent whose city has more of this symbol than your city, all right? So this is how you're interacting and messing with your opponents. You can steal sparks from each other, which is always fun. I mean, he's a bandit. What can you expect? He's just doing his job, living his life. We do also have the advisor. Now, the advisor has 2 abilities, and their abilities are going to be triggered. And I will mention there is a quick reference card for you. So we'll see here. This is a reaction. Okay, and the time symbol is an end of game ability. So when you activate these, if his strength is 1, you just straight up gain 6 sparks. 2, you straight up gain 12, and if you have strength of 3, you get 20. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. So that reaction ability is going to be triggered when somebody targets you with an attack action, okay? So if a bandit had targeted an advisor, they will gain 2 sparks when they are targeted. So we have a bunch of different cards with the different abilities. The alligator is gaining from neighboring cities. The outcast is going to lose sparks in your city based on how many citizens you have. Like, there's a bunch of different things, and like I mentioned, this is just one combination, one possibility. I just wanted to show you some of the other cards so you could get a little glimpse at what's going on here. The real question for you is, who is this game for? Now, if you enjoy a good engine builder with a minimal downtime, this game could be a fit for you. And the reason I say minimal downtime is because you're always watching what other people are doing, because you have to determine whether or not you want to follow the action that they have selected or follow the citizen. You're also going to have to think about how you build out your city. And part of that is also potentially going to be watching what other people are putting in their city so that you can have an option to do more action, so you can follow more. Because if I had played my bandit, Fake Jeff wouldn't have even had an opportunity to follow because they don't have a bandit card. So that could be a good time for me to play a bandit, knowing that my opponent can't follow me. To play this game, you should definitely be a fan of optimizing your turns, point salad, right? Because you're just out here getting sparks and points. Strategy, player interaction, and obviously card play. There is also a ton of variety in this game with all the different cards, citizen setups you can do. There are different suggestions that the rulebook is actually going to give you for different types of games. For your first game, if you want a short game, if you want low interaction, high interaction, if you want convert focus, guild icon focus, strategic, tactical, whatever your play style is, there's a different setup that you can go for here, and it will tell you what you need to add for higher player count. So if you're playing a 3-player game, you'll add this, 4 this, and 5 this. Plus, there's also the randomizer, so you can totally choose a complete random set of cards. Also, of course, the art, it's bright, it's colorful, it's beautiful, it has adorable animals. I mean, I always want to play games that have bunnies in them. That's vibes for me, so it fits your vibe. you should definitely check this out. Now, as per usual, like we always suggest, make sure that you watch lots of content, read reviews, go to the Kickstarter page, check everything out to make sure that this game is a good fit for you. I know lots of people will be doing some videos on it, so make sure you watch a lot of different things and hear what people have to say. So Citizens of the Spark sounds like it might be a game for you. Once again, all the information is going to be linked in the description below. Definitely check out the Kickstarter if it sounds kind of like something that you might want to dig into a little bit. But that is everything that I have for today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, this one we're going to Kickstarter, but other Thunderworks games you can get at your friendly local gaming store. For us, that is the Boardroom Game Cafe. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. And now, I say goodbye. Goodbye. I'm not even in the middle. Doesn't even matter, does it? Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster. Oh, am I recording? Yes. We shall. You can sit back there. So pretty, beautiful. Ding.